I feel blessed. Way up, I feel blessed. Way.
You're listening to Blessed on WYTV7 Christian Broadcasters Network with your host, Raykel Tolson. Blessed. It's more than just a hashtag.
Hi, welcome to the Blessed Podcast. I'm your host, Raykel. The podcast Blessed is here to help you experience being blessed that transcends more than just a hashtag. So let me add my disclaimer. I do it every week, but I think I need to do it. I'm not an evangelist. I'm not a preacher, prophet, or Bible scholar. I'm just a God-worshiping, Jesus-loving, Bible-believing, New Thought Christian who believes that God blesses us according to our faith and how we work his principles. So if you're ready to be blessed and get encouraged and grow your faith by hearing how God is blessing his children, then you are in the right place. I'm broadcasting on WYTV7, Christian Broadcasters Network Incorporated. We're a non-profit charitable radio broadcast with the mission to empower, encourage, and educate. Donations are always welcome. To help further the mission, you can donate at www.wytv.org. Today's sponsor is still Tolson Publishing. We publish books to make you think about what you think about. So get your copy of Undefiled or Wired Church Folk Poor, or both, today on Amazon or barnesandnobles.com. If you want an autographed copy, then you can go to www.raykeltolson.com and purchase an autographed copy there. Today's guest is Acacia Fullmore. I'm going to say her whole name. Acacia Diamond Fullmore. She is a member of my tribe called Blessed, and we will be discussing my novella, Undefiled. Let me just give real quick a short bio. Acacia, better known as Kayci, is the author of A Diamond in the Rough. That's why I had to give you her middle name. That's so cute. And it's A period because it's Acacia period Diamond. It's so cute. A Diamond in the Rough. And it's a collection of poems. And she is a member of the U.S. Air Force, soon to be a certified personal trainer. And most importantly, she is the mother of Skylar Nevaeh. I have to use her middle name because I was the one that gave her the middle name. Because that's Noni's baby. Hey, Skylar. Hey. So Kayci I met Kayci in the Air Force when I started working back in 2012. Kayci was, I think, 20 when I met you. 20, right, Kayci?
Yeah, 20.
So Kayci became like my daughter because I only have one son. And while I was working at the Air Force, I gathered more children. I gathered another son who is older than my son. So now he's my eldest, and he really is like my child for real, Carlos. And then Kayci, my only daughter. So Kayci is going to be here. She's a guest today to help me talk about my book, Undefiled. And Undefiled has so many, it has so much. So we won't talk about everything. We're going to talk about the stuff that I felt like would really, for Kayci as a millennial woman. So we're going to focus on some of those aspects of the book. And in another month, I'll talk about something else with somebody else in the tribe. So Kayci, before we get started, Skylar,
no chill.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to back up so your mommy can talk about her book, A Diamond in the Rough. Kayci, you got your book?
Okay. Go play. Yes.
All right.
She insisted on you, Noni saying her.
I know, of course. So
I talk about it.
I need you to read a poem. So when Kayci and I met, I told Kayci, because I've always been an author, and I asked her what she was doing with her life other than the military, and she said she wrote poetry. So I said, oh, you need to make a book. Remember that? I said, you got to write a book. And guess what she did? She put it in a book, and there she is. So Kayci, read one of your poems for everybody.
Oh, buddy. Let's see. So this one is a little different, but I like it because
our audience is WYTV and Christian broadcasters.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But this one I feel like is a good one because it was just kind of like the mind of I think I was 15 at the point in time.
Okay.
So it was about my dad trying to teach me a powerful lesson about preserving myself and my body and not like being played by these young men. So that's why I want to pick this one. Okay. So it's called When He Said. So he said you were sexy. He said you were his one and only. He said you had the perfect frame. He said you had a beautiful name. He said without you, he wouldn't know what to do. He said he loved you. When he said you were sexy, he was thinking about sex. When he said you were his one and only, he was thinking about the next. When he said you had the perfect frame, he was wondering if you were easy. When he said you had a beautiful name, he was erasing it from his memory. When he said without you, he wouldn't know what to do, he meant once he was done. When he said he loved you, you fell for his game and he won.
Wow.
It's a short.
Yeah, that was kind of deep.
That was a young teenage mind.
Yeah, but you know what? There are a lot of teenage girls that need to hear that. So, Kayci, I need you. I know you're doing your personal training. I know and thank you for your service. I know you're doing awesome things in the, military, but there's some young girls out there that need to hear that. And I'm sure, and I know all your other poems are good for them too. So I'm going to need you to really start getting out there more and sharing your poetry. And thank you for coming on the show and reading that, because maybe somebody is listening and they have a daughter, or maybe their daughter is listening, and then they could let them hear that poem, because you said something that they might listen to you and not their parents. You know what I mean? Because you know how you guys do. So let's talk a little about Undefiled, because that's what we supposed to be doing today, right? Talking about Undefiled. So I'm going to give everybody a quick little synopsis. A quick synopsis of Undefiled. So Undefiled is, oh wait, what did I just do? I think I lost you, because I'm trying to get my little thing. Okay, so Undefiled. Let me get it right. It's an inspirational romance that deals with forgiveness, love, acceptance, and intimacy. So you have Liz, a heroine. She wants to be married, but she chose a man just like her father, who lied, cheated, and then eventually left his family. After a year of hoping her ex-boyfriend and father of her son would come back, Liz finds out that he's engaged to be married to somebody else. So her desire for love and marriage intensified, and she realized she was ready to move on with her life. Now, the hero of the movie, you see I say movie because, of course, Undefiled in my head is a movie, not just a book. He's a successful man living his dream life. He's content in being married to only his job. He's a fashion photographer, and he keeps beautiful models in his bed, but none of them have reached his heart. His matchmaking mother is trying to get him married, and she's constantly trying to matchmake him with women in the church. Now, Anthony and Liz are thrown together when his mother gets ill. Anthony is instantly attracted to Liz, but like you said in your poem, is really just physical. But then after the mother passes, he starts, opening himself up to more than just physicality of a relationship. And he and Liz fall madly in love. He is actually the man of her dreams. But then the night before the wedding, she finds out something about his past that she doesn't know if she can forgive him or accept. And so that's basically what Undefiled is about. And I know you have a couple of questions, so I'm gonna let you ask a few of your questions first, and then we'll get into the discussion that I wanted to have about Undefiled.
Well, my first question is, what made you choose the name Undefiled for this book?
Right, because most people are like, what does that mean, right? But undefiled is a term from the Bible. So in the Bible, it says that the marriage bed is undefiled. And what that means to me is that when a husband and a wife, what they do in their bedroom between them, the two of them, not inviting everybody in, but between the two of them is undefiled, which means it's not dirty. God doesn't look at it like, oh, how could you do that? Because in churches, sometimes I actually went to a church and we had a marriage and singles conference. They would start talking about, stuff, the bedroom stuff. And it was really interesting because they were kind of making it seem like some things are dirty. And then me and my friends were like, but that's not biblical. But between a husband and wife, it's not dirty what y'all do. Like whatever y'all choose to use and, to help intensify your love making or whatever, it's not dirty. So we were like, I don't know. So that's where I came up with the title Undefiled. And then in the book, there is at the very end, but I don't want to give it away. They do kind of talk about that a lot more. And at her bridal shower, really, we talk about the pastor's wife talks about being, the bedroom undefiled, the marriage bed undefiled. Yeah. So that's where the title came from.
See, I want to start talking about the book, but can't be giving too much information.
Because the people still have to read the book. I'm trying to get the people to read the book. But when the movie come out, then the movie come out. But so we're gonna save it if they don't want to read it, then they'll just have to see when the movie come out.
Fair enough.
Right.
Well, everyone don't know you like I know you, but I definitely in reading this book find a lot of similarities between you and Liz. So my question is, did you base this character or this story off of your life in some way?
Quick answer, no. It's a real well, but there are a lot of similarities. So when I write, and because you are a writer, you don't just write poetry, you write other stories too. Yeah. When you write, a lot of times with your characters, you give them characteristics of yourself or people you know. Like if I meet somebody in the street and they got a little quirk or whatever, I kind of write it down in my head. Sometimes I actually write it down and I remember that little quirk so I can give it to a character later. So okay. Liz has a lot has a lot of similarities to me because I write what I know too. And having this child and just wanting to be married. And then because I wasn't waiting for my son's father though to come back. No. And I haven't met the man of my dreams yet. So so maybe it was like I haven't met him yet.
Oh, you say okay.
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of maybe that was my dream life that me when my son was younger. That's what I wish would have happened to me. Met the man of my dreams. So.
Okay. Well, if it wasn't based off of your life, then what inspired you to write Undefiled? Okay,
so I guess I'll have to tell a little bit more because it is like that's what we're supposed to be talking about, right? I don't think you know it. That's why I'm like, why she asked me that? Okay, so when I was in New York, it was a while ago. My cousin and I were having a conversation, right? And a guy that I was dating this professional basketball player. I will not mention his name, but I was dating him off and on. And my cousin was like, "Oh, I heard something about him. I heard a rumor." And I was like, "Well, I don't know about that rumor." And so we had this conversation. So once you read the book, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I can't say it all because it would give away all the juicy parts of the book. But so it's loosely based on the fact that I said if that was true about the guy that I was dating, it wouldn't matter to me, because I would still want to be with him because he was like my dream man. It didn't work out though. See, it didn't work out. But he was my dream man. And I still don't even know if the rumor was true. It was just a rumor, and that just kind of brought up the whole what if scenarios. And then Anthony's character just like kind of came alive. So it's really interesting.
I know what you're talking about. Anybody else want to know what you're talking about, they need to read the book.
They have to read the book, and they can go get the book on Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com because it's really juicy. Did you like it a lot?
Yes. Did you tell them that you made a short film? I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, I think I did at the very beginning, but yeah, so Undefiled it started as a short film, and I wrote it, and I had just put it aside, and then I went to a short film, I guess what's those things called? I'm having a brain fart. A film festival, short film festival, right? And I was looking at the films, I was like, I wrote something that was just as good as that, and then I brought it out. I brought the script to work. And you guys read it, and Raymond Ball, he read it, and he was like, Ray, this is really good. He's like, we need to film this. And I was like, it's not like it's that easy. He was like, how much is it gonna cost? And I was like, I just threw out $10,000. I don't know. He's like, well, I got 5 on it. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, let's do that. So now he's my partner. So as soon as we do the film, it'll be us doing it. And both of our names are Ray, so it's our Ray production. And we'll both be doing that together. Like it's been a minute, but he ready to go with the film too. But that's what happened with that. And then at the film festivals, the people were like, oh my goodness, this is so good. I was sitting next to this one guy, and he said, that was the best short film I've ever watched. He was like, oh my gosh. And so with that, I was like, okay, so this is something that the people do want to see. And then I talked to some people, and they said they just wanted to know the backstory. So I figured, let me go all the way back and let that be the end of the story, because it is that good. So yeah, so that's what we did. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this whole, so Liz, about how Liz, had a baby by a man, and she felt like that was supposed to be her husband. Now,
you want me to talk about that?
See, now, but here's the thing. But we both in the same situation. I'm just a almost 50-year-old woman doing it, and you are under 30. You see what I'm saying? You were where I was, and and Liz is probably like her age is right between us. But we all do that. We women, we have a baby by somebody, and we think that that's supposed to be the man that we marry.
So in my case, I thought it and did it and was like, why did I do it? But hey, I guess the part of it was I already had a child out of wedlock. So I felt like it was kind of my duty to make it work with her father. So I definitely know that I forced it because I let a lot of things go by that were red flags to not go into a marriage with him. But I thought that was the godly thing to do, was keep my family together and expand and deal with all the BS and forgive. And I kept dealing with it. And long story short, he left me. All of the stuff that I dealt with for the sake of keeping our family together and keeping my daughter's mother and father in the same household, and he left because I got tired of it.
Right, and this is what happened in the Undefiled. And it's so when I didn't know you when in the way when I wrote this, that hadn't happened to you yet. But that's why Undefiled to me is it's like a right now type story, because there are a lot of women like Liz that have had babies that were trying to make a relationship work with somebody who was a liar and a cheater, or just wasn't the right one for them. because they had a child with them. And then when you said because it's a godly thing, and so when you grow up in church, you feel like, oh, I already feel like I'm a horrible person because I had a baby out of wedlock. Because that whole judgmental type thing you get from some churches, it really does exist. So then it forces you to maybe marry somebody who is not the right person to marry, just not at all. And I mean, but see, like for me, I've always been in the church, but I think something about me is just different. I'm kind of off a little bit because I wasn't gonna let the church make me feel like I need to be married to a fool just because I had sex with him and had his baby. It was, I wasn't finna make wrong after wrong after wrong after wrong after wrong, because two wrongs don't make it right. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I thank God for my son, but that wasn't gonna happen at all. But I'm just saying, but then you have these people like Liz in the book and like you, it's like, okay, I need to be with the father of my child because it's the right thing to do. And then just like Liz and you, he leaves. And then start their life. And then it's like, so like when Liz was ready to finally move on, what does it take for you to finally like let go and move on? What did it take for you?
What did it take? Oh, Jesus. I feel like a part of it was definitely him leaving. I think it just added up. It was a lot of reasons I had to leave. But the whole God was in my ear. At least I thought God was in my ear, but he was pointing me to another direction. But I was so set on what I thought God wanted me to do in my life that I just stuck in there regardless of all the bad. So when he finally up and he left, I felt like I forgave you. I did everything I was supposed to do as a wife, as a mother. Like I held this home together, and it's like, and I dealt with a lot of stuff I didn't have to deal with. So the fact that you walked out that door for me was like, don't ever come back in. And that honestly was my breaking point, because sadly enough, I don't think I would have ever left him. I would have tried over and over again to try and make it work because I was so headstrong in that. But I prayed to God. Actually, I think you told me. That's what happened. You told me this because I was crying every night. Like I couldn't, like every night was stressful. And you told me to write down a prayer to God. But when I write it down, I figure out everything that I want in a man. Make a list of everything that I want. No matter how vain, whatever, just make a list. And then you told me like every night for at least 30 days, tell God that you thank him for the fact that you have these, talking present tense. And so I decided, okay. I was like, what is that going to do? And you told me, you're like, well, either God is going to put that man in your life, or your current husband will become the man that you're praying to him about. So I did it. And he started becoming everything opposite of what I asked for. And I felt like God was telling me that, but I wasn't listening. But when he walked out, that was like the final slap in the face. Like, are you listening now? See? And it just felt like it all came together at that point. And I realized like everything that I prayed to God that I wanted in a man was the pure opposite of what I had in not that I wanted in a man, that I wanted in a husband.
Right.
Was the pure opposite of the husband that I had. It was the opposite of it. So then that walking out the door was just a slap in the face to make me realize that I've been praying to God for what I wanted. Mm-hmm. And God's telling me that this ain't it. And I wasn't listening.
Right.
So he had to put him in a position to walk out.
So God had to move him because you wasn't gonna move, you wasn't listening. Okay. And that's the thing, it's like so crazy because that's the same thing that happened in the book with Liz. He had to leave, and then for her to get everything that she wanted. Now, in the last few minutes, though, we got about 7-8 minutes left. Let's talk about when you finally meet the man of your dreams, because eventually it's coming to you, because your divorce is coming up soon, and I know that God is going to, because you was praying it, so I know it's coming.
Right.
So when you finally meet the man of your dreams, now he's the man of your dreams, but he won't be perfect. Just like in this book, the man was not perfect. But he was the perfect man for her, but he wasn't perfect. He had a past. So like it, without saying what his past was, but if you were Liz, how do you think you would deal with somebody who had a past that you weren't really happy about?
That's a tough one. So I think in her situation, there are certain things that I would be willing to move past, considering it was in the past. Mm-hmm. If you've been moving forward and you're making this forward movement, and I'm the one that you choose to make this forward movement with, mm-hmm. then when we go into this relationship, it's like a pact, it's a partnership. We need to go into it knowing what direction we're going, what direction we will never go back to. Mm-hmm. And I think that would be the main thing for me. If I can really feel in my heart, and in my case, because I prayed to God for the man that I wanted, I don't know what I left out of my prayer. So I know that that's fair game for God. Those mistakes is fair game. I was very specific about the man that I had to have. And so if anything in this man wasn't listed on that list, like that category wasn't in that list, and I have to be okay with the fact that God gave him that fault. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I would look at it. So if that's not something that she, for Liz, in her case, if that's not something that she absolutely says she could not deal with, mm-hmm. and he's telling her that it's in the past and they can move forward, then it's either all the way in or all the way out. So if you want to make that forward movement, I can't say I love everything about you except for this, but this wasn't something that was a big deal to begin with, you know?
Right. I hadn't even thought about it, right? It's like I didn't put that on the list.
Right, yeah, right. Like I can't even be mad. Like you can't be flawless.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing, you know. So one of the things I with this book, and I like put it out there. I was like, you know, a question is, I wonder if religion and, you know, being a Christian are keeping women, especially African American women, single, because we do have these lists, and we do have like we have what we think that people should be about. You know, we want somebody like Boaz that Ruth had, rich. Everybody rich. And then like somebody like me, you know, as a pharmacist, I was making a lot of money. And for me to say, oh, he needs to make the same kind of money I make, that's not easy. And then now I'm still not married. I want to be married. I'm about to turn 50. I don't look 50. So of course, the man I might attract might be 40. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look.
He might be 35.
Is he 21?
No. My child said he can't be his age or his brother's age. And Carlos is like 32, so 30. So he's like, he got to be older than them. But I'm just saying, but even 40 years, that's like 10-year difference if we have a decade between us. So, I mean, like, even those kind of things, like, he may be perfect for me, but there's some things that he's not going to be perfect. And so, and with Undefiled, I think that's what this book brings out, too. And I think we are really, this time is really going out of sorts.
Yeah, I'm like, why is it already 30 minutes?
I know. And I'm just like, the time is, like, moving so fast. And this is why I said I'm going to have to talk about Undefiled, because we just talked about Liz. We didn't even talk about, you know, the matchmaking mother or some of the other stuff that you know, Undefiled kind of talk about.
Part two. We need a part two.
Undefiled probably need a part 2 and a part 3, but I really appreciate you for coming on and discussing that part, because I think that really is important for women to like stop holding on to something that's not right. And then don't get into marriages just because you got a child with a person, or just because you know, it looked like right. God is telling you, God, you said it. God will speak to you. And he let you know, no, walk away, get out. And then, you know, at least you were smart enough when he left out, you was like, okay, good, I'm done. You got young women that is like, when in the book, Liz, he walked out and Liz still there waiting for him to come back. Well, why are you waiting for? Yeah. It had to take him to decide, not just leave, but to say, I'm getting married to somebody else, for her to say, okay, maybe I need to move on. Yeah.
Walk out. Anybody that want to I forgot how the phrase goes, but anyone that wants to leave my life, let them go.
Right.
Oh.
Wish them well and let them go. So, hey, Kayci, before we go, tell everybody where they can get your book.
Oh, on Amazon. So I have A Diamond in the Rough. It's a Kayci Diamond. I don't know if that's going to go clear enough. But I also have, hold on, Uncut is the second one.
Oh, yeah.
So what I need to be doing is working on the third one. I know. So this is Uncut. But yeah, if you look at Kaycia Diamond, AKAYCIA Diamond on Amazon, you will find both of these on there.
Right, and I hope to see you going out and doing some poetry and talking to some young girls and being a mentor, because you really have been through some stuff. And just like I wrote Undefiled, even though it's fiction, but it had a lot, you know, it has a lot of meat that you can talk about. And with your stuff, yours is personal. It's not even fiction. So you can go out there and really do
real life.
Yeah, you can go out there and talk and do some really amazing things for the youth. And also, if you're out there listening, Kaycia is a member of the Tribe Called Blessed. You too can be a member of the Tribe Called Blessed. Just go to Facebook and type in Tribe Called Blessed. I think it may be a few of them, but mine has like a yellow, a gold, blue, and green logo. Looks like hands, and like the hands juggling, the people dancing. It's really cute. And then maybe you'll be one of my next guests to talk about one of my books or talk about a book that we're reading. And Kaycia, is there anything else you want to say to anybody? I mean, to people out there?
I would say thank you to you for having me. This is fun. And I want to talk some more about your book. So if you have a part 2 or part 3, I can be a second guest.
And you know, look, in January, though, we will definitely be talking, because we'll talk about, because you'll be a certified personal trainer then. And so we'll talk about getting healthy and, you know, at the new year.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much, Kayci. Give
bye.
me hugs and kisses for me.
Okay, bye.
All right.